Go.
All right. So after talking to our mentor, I don't know if we got a really good idea of what our final product would look like kind of last week, but this is just an idea. So that little star is your location. Those are your basket prices. But I just wanted to show everyone that. So right into it. So this is our revised business model canvas. We're going to focus on, and our value proposition is we're going to give you a way to determine the single grocery store that's local to you that has the cheapest total basket price. The pains that are currently associated with grocery shopping, clipping coupons, inconvenience, you know, kind of pain in the butt to sort through all the flyers and everything. And it's really hard to figure out the store that is cheapest right now. The gain from this mock-up with real data, there was a 20% difference. That was over 5 items. And then we're going to give you digitized coupons for the items you actually buy. So we first assess grocery shopping habits. A lot of people are frustrated about their grocery shopping. And it's funny, a lot of people think they get the best prices, even though they're frustrated. And also a lot of people use more than one store. So maybe we need to revise that idea of one-stop shopping. Demographics-wise, both in the college generation and parent generation, and then lower income people like college students. And then savvy shoppers, people who actually clip the coupons. So overwhelmingly, people would travel further to save money in both generations that we were looking at. And it looked like a fair number of people would use the app. Yes, and maybe some arms and stuff. Key activities, since this is really important for us, since we're going to try and do a community source database, we needed to assess whether or not people were into that idea. Text search, so hopefully, you know, those two will marry nicely and we'll get half and half. But, you know, everybody will be happy. Some people would type the prices, about half said they would type prices in. So, you know, they purchase everything, you pull up your shopping list, and then you give us the pricing information by manually punching the price you paid for each item. And then we think more people were willing to take pictures of their receipt, but that might have been the one that was skewed. And then the other one we looked at this week in terms of our customer surveys was the revenue. Represents a quarter of the $2.1 billion revenue for coupon distribution. And if we garnered 1% of that market share, we'd get about $5.25 million annually. Another way to look at it was we get about 14 cents per 1,200,000 users based on smartphone users, grocery shoppers, and people who use the app. So that's about $168,000 for total user-based coupon redemption, to give you another idea. And then the other thing is kind of assessing a freemium model where you have free with ad support and then pay a premium to get no ads, nothing bothering you. So it looks like a lot of people, so that was cool. That was kind of a first customer idea. And then a lot of similar products kind of exist, but they're really poor in execution and barely anybody knows about it. How are we doing time-wise?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Yeah, I think we'll just cut it here. So this is the homework. Yeah, our pass-fail stuff. Yeah.
We've had parent generation and college generation, but a gap of
we are
30 to 50.
25 to 50 demographics.
Was it just because you didn't find those people?
None of us really know that many people. I think all of us kind of interviewed our friends and our parents. And
okay.
So that's where you got that division. But we definitely need to find, you know.
Yeah, your target market is probably the one that's missing.
Probably, yeah.
I would assume.
So when you say survey responses, you actually mean all of this data was based on one-on-one interviews?
Yeah, this is in person sitting down talking to them.
Okay, so what I see is a gap in, there's two different people that you're talking to here. There's coupon users, and then there's people that want to go to one place. So if you start your interviews understanding that which person you're talking to, because you're going to see the coupon users have the time to go to multiple places, whereas the people that want one stop, it's likely they're not using coupons, and if they are, they're only using them for that way you can kind of feel which party has the greatest pain and go in that direction.
In the context of today's exercise, we came up with that question and realized that was really important. So definitely a great job.
Cool.
Looks great. How far were your people willing to travel to go to a different store?
It's an awesome question. We'll include that next week in the survey.
So, yeah, what we found, I think we can break couponers down into 3 categories. People who will never use coupons, people who are actively using them, and they're the couponers. They'll cut them, they'll use them, they'll find them, they'll take a lot of time to do it, and people who want to save money but do not want to cut coupons. So that's our target. I think that's, we don't want to go through that problem of finding those best prices, because you can do it, it just takes work, and people don't want to do that work.
Think about that though. Like, think about who has the greatest pain, and don't necessarily assume that your target market is going to be one over the other. Be open to the fact that you can pivot in either direction.
Let's let the mentors and instructors go, and because we're short on time. Can you go back to the slide that showed the willingness to use barcodes, and so everything else is almost takes a back seat to and your assumption is people will scan or input that data. And so to me, almost before you go to these other stages, explore that in depth. Who's going to be willing to do that? And I'm not sure asking someone is a reasonable way to measure.
Back to predicting the future, they're going to
Say yes, and then they're never going to do it, because what you may not realize, they may not realize when they're answering it is, I'm always shopping in a hurry. I'm never shopping leisurely. And they may not think
to actually sit there and tangibly do it. Our survey was designed kind of poorly. We had a bunch of like tiers of like, if no, then would you do this? So that's kind of where some of the breakdown occurs.
And we're working. We put in our business model canvas that data acquisition is our primary cost factor and our primary activity right now. So we're trying to get the data, and if we can't get people to enter it directly, which is one of the Desiree Ingles talked about, I don't remember his name, but we can't get that data, so we're actually looking at talking to the grocery stores and finding out. So we're looking at like an onion. So the layer 0 is those grocery stores.
Yeah.
Get the data from them.
Yeah.
Well, if they say
spot and be like the source of all data for all of them.
right.
Speaking back to, in these slides and in your canvas, 2 different colors for those groups of customers in the same bars.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
And then just the last thing I was going to say is that when you, Aaron spoke to this, that you want to sort of ask about behavior, past behavior, because when you ask someone to imagine themselves doing something, everybody can imagine everything. So ask them, you know, if I told you that there was something that you had to enter data in order to get the benefits, how do you think that would go? And then maybe you'll get, oh, well, I do that because at the bank, I take a picture of my checkbook, whatever. Don't lead it, but let them tell you what they think it would look like, and then you'll get an idea of maybe what it should look like.
Well, and you may set that question up by saying, so tell me, right before that, tell me, when was the last time you were at the grocery store shopping? Tell me about that experience, and get them thinking about the last time, because that might get them in the headspace of, I was in a hurry and there's no way I would do this.
Right.
And that's really the answer you want. You don't want the self-reinforcing answer.
Anyone else? Cool.
Good.
Thank you guys.
Lots of great work.
Yeah.